we're going to jail. It is not only the opposition parties and the media which is being threatened by this government. The government creates a framework that exposes its own people to conditions of unfreedom and subject them to state brutality. India, you're talking about, is this the Bharat you proudly talk about, where students from suppressed communities cannot go to national institutions, central government institutions and study there because of discrimination? This government, 7,000 people have been charged with sedition charges, and most of them, 7,000 people, and most of them are below the ages of 30. Isn't this a shame?
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद श्रीमती कनिमोझी जी.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to start with a quote of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Let us not forget that this independence has thrown us on great responsibilities. By independence, we have lost the excuse of blaming the British for anything going wrong. In this case, I think it is often the Congress. If hereafter things go wrong, we will have nobody to blame except ourselves. Sir, I rise to support this no confidence motion brought by India and by Gaurav Gogoi on behalf of the India team and my party, the DMK. So the first time in India, the judiciary had to intervene to protect a state. Isn't this shameful? Sir, the government proudly says in Manipur it is a double-engine government because it is a BJP government in the union and it's a BJP government in the state. But this double engine has become a double-edged weapon against the people of Manipur. A double disaster, a double breakdown. The PM, after returning from his trips abroad, chooses to speak to the media in a very rare occurrence outside the parliament. But he refuses to cross the threshold and come to parliament and speak with the fellow parliamentarians. A senior leader, Jaswant Sinha, day before yesterday in his article had mentioned, democracy is not defined by the beauty of its parliament building. It is dignified by the quality of its debates and the voice with which it speaks in unison on national issues. Today, India team is speaking in unison on national issues, and you refuse and you fail to come here and respond to it. Sir, 170 people have been killed, thousands injured, 60,000 displaced, 3,500 homes have been burnt. People have been killed, as Kakuli mentioned. People have been beheaded, rapes on both sides. But when the Chief Minister of Manipur was asked, why have you not been able to control the situation for 3 months? The CM says, 2 brothers are fighting and the government is like a father mediating between them. Isn't this a shame? With the heavy security blanket the state has, the state of Manipur has the highest ratio of police personnel to civilians in India. 161 companies of central forces, including Assam Rifles, are present in Manipur, and yet the government has failed the people. The silence of the union government, the Prime Minister, and the inaction of the state government, which watched as houses burnt, police armory was looted, and people killed each other. Women were being humiliated, stripped, paraded, raped, violated, and killed. This double engine stood hand in hand watching it all happening, saying brothers are fighting. The videos of these 2 women who were paraded naked and raped shook the conscience of the nation and the world. The 21-year-old girl's father and brother were killed when they were trying to protect her. So, when the mob caught this family, they ran to the police gypsy which was there. They begged them to take them in the gypsy to somewhere safe. But the policemen refused. When they got into the gypsy, they allowed the mob, the violent mob, to pull these two women out, and the father and the brother, out of the gypsy, and the policemen were watching in silence when the father was killed and the brother was killed and these two women were stripped.
Focusing on her.
The state police, the National Women's Commission and the State Women's Commission were all silently watching. Maybe they were wishing that this will miraculously vanish till the videos unfortunately went viral. And after many weeks and months, 5 or 6 people out of the mob were arrested. But time and again these women were asking why no action was taken against these policemen who handed them over to the violent mob. But till yesterday, the government chose to keep silent and it did not respond. The people have been mentioning Draupadi in this house.
नहीं आप बैठ जाइए आप बैठ जाइए
प्रवक्ता का चेहरा दिखाते
नहीं
आप जब भी इंडिया लाए
आप अपनी बात रखिए
तो कैमरा यहाँ पे नहीं कैमरा आप पे आता है ऐसा क्यों है
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है आप कनीमोझी जी आप अपनी बात रखिए The other thing will not go into the record. Only Kanimozhi's speech will be going in record.
Sir, the people have been mentioning Draupadi from Mahabharata in this house and how she was humiliated and stripped. So these women also must have prayed to some god to come and help them. God nor the government came to help these two women. And anybody who has read the Mahabharata properly knows that it is not the perpetrators of the crime who were punished, but the silent spectators who stood there like trees watching her being humiliated were also punished. They will be punished like they will be punished when they were silent in Hathras, Kathua, Unnao, Bilkis Banu, and when the wrestlers were protesting. The country, the nation, India, the mothers of India will punish them. So there are hundreds of relief camps. There are hundreds of relief camps, but there is no food, no water. It is overcrowded with no proper sanitation. The roofs are leaking and children have to live there. They cry out of fear and hunger. Is this what you call relief camps in this country? You don't even want to reach out to people who've lost everything, who had to walk for days to save their lives. You can't give them food, you can't give them protection, you can't ensure that the roofs don't leak. At Bishnupur, a woman said that people are saying my son has been killed, but I haven't seen his body. I refuse to believe that he has been killed. His best friend has told her that the son was killed, but she refuses to believe that he was killed because she lives in hope. She says, I hope that someday he'll come back alive to me. This is not just one mother who's saying this. There are brothers, fathers, families who wait, hoping that their loved ones are alive somewhere. Even if they're injured, they are there somewhere. A Methi girl in one of the camps asked me, you have come to see us, but why hasn't the Chief Minister or the Prime Minister bothered to come and visit us? We have lost our homes, families, livelihood. I will never go back to my home. I will never feel safe there. The government has let me down. Why hasn't anybody come here to wipe my tears? But instead of listening to her pain and comforting her, the BJP fake news team manufactures a narrative saying that she told the India team that I have faith in the Prime Minister. Why have you come here? Sir, the truth is, whether it is the Kukis, Nagas or Meitei, we only saw despair and despondency in their eyes. I request the Prime Minister, this government, to reach out to these people and say that we care and justice will be done. Can't you do that much for people who've been hurt, who are bleeding? Sir, we went there to say India stands with you. We would like to know whether the government stands with them.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Chief Minister of Manipur has been blaming the Kukis and the Naga people for the drugs there and the drug cultivation. But a former SP, Ms. Brinda, blames the Chief Minister, the Chief Minister's office and the Manipur government for it.
Shame.
There have been many stories in the newspapers earlier that the pesticides and fertilizers which are being sent to the state are diverted for poppy cultivation and not for food production.
Shame.
Shouldn't we find out the truth? Should not there be a proper inquiry into what has been really happening? You brought the Sengol to the new parliament with big pomp and show. You said it is a Chola tradition. You don't know Tamil Nadu history properly. Have you heard about the Pandian Sengol? The Pandian Sengol which burnt, which shattered when the King Pei failed the common people. Do you know the story of Kannagi? Please stop imposing Hindi on us and go read the Silapadigaram. It has a lot of lessons to teach you all.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, it's okay. They're very scared of us. They don't want to see our faces also. We are happy with it as long as they can hear us. They cannot hear Manipur people, at least let them hear us. So this government is very lucky because it knows to manufacture one issue after another, one disaster after another. So we have to forget what happened a month ago and discuss something else, a new issue in Parliament today. Because we've not had the opportunity to discuss what happened in Balasore in Odisha. 3 trains collided and 288 passengers died and over 1,000 were injured. And there are bodies still lying in Ames, Bhubaneswar, which are unclaimed and not identified. But the report on the accident says lapses at various levels in signal and telecommunication department is responsible for the accident. And they've been warned, the government has been warned 2 months before the accident that there should be an inquiry and the methods of shortcut being used for signal and telecommunication system in the country has to be looked into. Today, there are vacancy, operational safety categories. Vacancy is over 50,000 people have not been employed. Isn't this the fault of the government? What is your response to the accident? What is your response to the number of people who've lost their lives? This government fears, deplores accountability. It hides data or refuses to collect data. When data does not favor them, they sack the person in charge. The NFHS chairperson was suspended when he exposed the false claims of the union government. The minister, when she was speaking, said that it is, the minister Smriti Irani said India is 100% open defecation free. There is not one single state which is 100% open defecation free. It is a total lie. And when the person concerned made sure that the truth comes to light, he was suspended. Sir, the employment data was withheld till the election results were out. And 2 people in the department, in the commission, resigned because of that. The unemployment rate is 8.5% in this country. Investments have dropped to half. It was 10.5%, it is 5% now. People are going back. More than 50% people are there in the agriculture sector. This doesn't happen in any developing nation. People are going back to agriculture because they have no hope, there is no space for them in formal employment.
Who's speaking? We can't. Speaker, sir, now we can see.
And the national policy for rationalization of schools has closed down thousands and thousands of schools, and millions of children have lost their opportunity to go back to school.
Just wait. Sir, why is it being changed? It's still not. Sir, who's putting the
आप बैठ जाइए कनिमोझी जी आप बैठ जाइए लाने चली के अपने जगह पे जाइए
क्यों नहीं दिखा रहा है क्यों नहीं दिखा रहा है क्यों नहीं दिखा रहा
Sir, whenever we speak somebody from the opposition, the camera is
So why, sir?
it is looking somewhere else.
This is so silly, sir. Sir, when Smriti Irani was speaking, it was there.
When Smriti Irani was showing the play card, the camera was on the play card. When now
श्रीमती कनिमोझी जी आप अपनी बात रखिए
don't show play card.
We have taken note of it.
Please restore the democracy in this country.
We have taken note of it. आप बैठ जाइए
People are watching.
कनिमोझी जी आप बोलना चाहती हो
People are
कनिमोझी जी आप आगे बोलिए
People are watching.
आप शुरू कीजिए
Sir, you have to give me extra time. Sir, are you closing down schools? Because only the OBCs, SC, ST students go to these government schools. In a reply to the Rajya Sabha, the Union Minister of State has stated that 25,593 students belonging to the SC, ST, OBC communities have dropped out of central universities. Is this the India you're talking about? Is this the Bharat you proudly talk about, where students from suppressed communities cannot go to national institutions, central government institutions and study there because of discrimination? This government, we've been time and again threatened in this house with ED, we're going to jail. It is not only the opposition parties and the media which has been threatened by this government. The government creates a framework that exposes its own people to conditions of unfreedom and subject them to state brutality. Between 2014 to 2020,
kindly conclude, madam. Kindly conclude.
7,000 people have been charged with sedition charges, and most of them, 7,000 people, and most of them are below the ages of 30. Isn't this a shame? And sir, the Prime Minister calls differently able people as Divyangs, but the pension which you give them per month is rupees 300, which is equal to 1 kilo of tomato in your government. Sir, it is not only the prices which rise in this government, it is crimes against women, which has risen to 26.3% in the past few years in the BJP government. Sir, this is a government which is indifferent, and its administration is indifferent to people, and they don't value people, or do they care about the well-being of the Indian citizens? But The irony is that you call yourself nationalists and call us anti-national. Are you nationalists? Do you care about this country? Do you care about people in Manipur, the women, the children there who suffer every day? Until today, you haven't been able to bring
Thank
peace
you.
to
Thank you
that
very much.
state.
Kindly
Sir,
conclude.
You are hurting
Your
Mother
time is
India.
over.
You are hurting Mother India, making her bleed every day. India will teach you a lesson very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Sri